Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox live Q&A. I'm Dr. Daryl Wolfe, your host, and just understand this is your show, so you'll be able to send your questions in anytime that you want. You can send them in, okay, to Facebook, YouTube, Intercom, first come, first serve. Got about 18 questions already from people sending in and putting questions in on Facebook throughout the week. I'll go through those as well. So, just so you know, I stopped doing Wolfe reports because, you got to go by your gut feeling. And that's what I do. I live by my instinct, not by my mind, okay? You got to go by your instinct. It's the key thing. And so my Wolfe reports are on Telegram, Doc of Detox Telegram, Doc of Detox BitChute. If you want to see the Wolfe reports, go there because I'm not going to give these guys any cause to try to pull down Facebook, especially this year. We're going to try to do more trainings for you, teach you more things to empower you, okay? All right. So anyways, I want to go over a couple things with you just to bring you up to date. I like to do that. So this weekend went shopping, went to my tailor at the mall, and everything's going great. My tailor says to me, "Why don't you wear a mask when you come in the mall?" And I said, "Well, because I don't believe in COVID." Believe it or not, this guy's got really good hearing. He's about 3 or 4 feet back from me. And he actually says, "You have no right to say that to her." And I said, whoa, please. Me and her are having a conversation. She asked me a question. And he said, "Look, you have no right to say that to her. And you know what? I should take you out and punch the you-know-what out of you." I won't say what he said. And I just said, "Look, just do me a favor. Keep on walking, okay? All right? You can wear your mask, do whatever you need to." And he said, "Well, if you're still here in 10 minutes, I'm going to kick the crap out of you." So, I'm not picking on the guy. Is that what it's come to? Is that what it's come to? Seriously? Okay. And then Sean, my video guy, went down to get gas just at lunchtime here, and he didn't have a mask on while he was pumping gas. And somebody came on to him about not wearing a mask. I mean, people are wearing a mask outside. They're wearing a mask in their car. even if they're in their car by themselves. Go figure, right? So we stop thinking, eh? Well, let's just stop thinking. How about that? Well, actually, we really don't think a lot. You do know we only think 2 to 5% of our day. The rest of the time we just spend in the unconscious, subconscious part of our brain, and we're like little robots. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I think any more than that, but the reality is I spent 25 years, 30 years at reprogramming my brain. So what I'm doing is having fun, getting the job done and loving it. And when something happens around me, whether it's a drama, I don't buy into it. I stay connected to my breath. I don't buy into it. The reality is when I first started actually not losing it, you know what my family used to tell me? You don't care. You don't care anymore. You're so selfish. You don't care. So understand something. If you're not going to suffer this Christmas season, for everybody who's suffering, you're going to get yourself into a lot of hot water. Okay? But I'll tell you one thing what I do this Christmas season is I drink a lot of hot water because hot water really cleanses you. So, if you want to keep the COVID away, the cold, the flu, then I would suggest that you drink a quart of hot water every morning. And if you want, mix some ginger with it, mix some lemon with it. I just do a quart of hot water with Tummy Love, right? That's what's in here, okay? And I've already done 2 of them, and I do a lot of hot water. I never really liked hot teas, but hot water calms you down, makes you feel good. And if you've ever tried to clean anything, if you use cold water, it doesn't clean as well as hot water. Hot water expands and opens everything up. Also, viruses and bacteria and mucus, which they love to live in, doesn't really like it. It melts it, right? It's like melting it, ice melter. So think about that. All right? So what I've been telling my family in that as I go, look at, it's not about the masks or anything like that. I say, don't go out unless you have to. Organize yourself as much as you can. Because when you're when you're breathing and you've got a mask on, I'll read something from the World Health Organization in a second. But you're okay. Why don't we just ask people that are slaves, okay, how they feel? Whether you believe it or not, anybody that wears a mask, okay, they want to be good little conformists, okay? And understand something. You need to get this. If wearing a mask was going to make me healthy and everyone else, I'd do it. If taking a vaccination, I'd do it. 6-foot rule, I'd do it. Lockdown, I would do it. Okay? So actually, there's not one rule that they've brought out in the last 6 months that I'll do. No, I'm not doing them. That's that. So anyways, let me read this from the World Health Organization, which 1 minute they say one thing, 1 minute they say another. But here's their stand right now. And do you know why? Because they don't want egg on their face. They already help perpetuate the biggest lie that the world's ever seen. And the reality is some of my colleagues are actually saying, you know what, Daryl? People actually deserve what they're going to get. And I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that. But the reality is this. Why can't they think? Oh my God, why can't they think? Okay, so the World Health Organization has announced masks are harmful to your health. Now just remember, at the beginning, they weren't. They were telling everybody they had to wear them, but this is their big stand right now. And they do not provide any benefit against COVID or any other virus or bacteria. I hope you're getting this, okay? So, you know, those you who are little mask terrorists, okay? And I just love this. You know, why aren't you wearing a mask? You know, you need to protect us from you. What are you guys like crazy? You're crazy, right? Okay. All right. Therefore, unless you plan on catching a viral pneumonia, influenza, or having mouth sores at any time soon, cease to desist from wearing masks immediately. Oh, and by the way, social distancing is an ancient form of slave punishment. Oh my gosh. You know, I want everybody to take a chill pill out there that's worried about them coming to vaccinate you. They have no legal right to do it. Just know that. They don't have a legal right to do it. And the reality is, do you know how hard it would be? Okay, there's only 38 million people in Canada, but right now they only bought 250,000 or something like that of the vaccination, COVID vaccination. So by the time they start working on all these people and all the people that are going to show up sick and maybe even deceased, I don't think we'll really have to worry about it, will we? So this is the point where some of my colleagues have said, well, you deserve what you're going to get because people don't do their research, okay? But the reality is what we need to understand is the subconscious mind is 90% the subconscious. The subconscious mind is 90% of the brain. So, you know, you've got a 10% where you could be in the conscious moment. But the reality is that we're only in the conscious moment 2 to 5% of the day. Unless you know what to do, like connect to your Lionheart breathing and you're focusing on your breath, okay? You're doing the Braveheart 3, 2, 1, I got this, reminding yourself, okay? Look, you give me a person with a disease and I'll show you that their personality created it. It's not genetics, it's epigenetics, okay? So, what are you going to do? What are you going to change that changes your life? Remember, if you don't change, your life doesn't change. I mean, people might go, well, that sounds kind of logical, but it doesn't register. I mean, does it? It has to register. If you don't actually make a change in your personality, you're not going to have a change in your reality. And that's the bottom line. So anybody, if you want, you can send your questions in and just know this. And I can tell you this honestly, that if you live in a major city, and you live in a condo downtown in a major city, please call your relatives, your friends that live in the country, and say that if everything goes to hell in a basket, can you come and visit? Please, can you do that for me? Okay? All right? Because I want to be wrong, but I think within the next few weeks to a couple of months, we're going to see the signs of a civil war going on in some cities. So think about your safety. Think about your family. Don't freak out. Stay calm. You know what? There will be better days. I promise you. I promise you that things are going to get worse, but they're going to be better than pre-COVID. Things are going to get worse still, but they're going to be better than pre-COVID. I truly believe this. I'm not just saying this, okay? So send in your questions, your health questions, whatever you would like, and I'll answer them, okay? Let me go through a couple of other things here. Links will be in the description at the end of the show. So links for different things like the library or anything I talk about. We have a whole bunch of links at the end of the show that will help to guide you where you want to go. Please share the link. All right. Please share the link to my Telegram and to my BitChute. Like I said, I will not put on controversial things. I mean, the last thing I want to do, whether people like Facebook or not, the reality is that there's a lot of people out there that I have over 100,000 people that actually come on and watch my trainings, actually come on and watch my one-a-days. So I really don't want that taken down, okay? Upcoming courses, Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, where I live, where the Doc of Detox resides right now, is March 13th to the March 20th, Whole Life Coach. It's half full already. Wolfe Non-Surgical starts March 22nd to April 2nd, half full. Mexico Combined Certification Course, April the 3rd to April 28th, okay? And then back in Kelowna, British Columbia for the full 21-day course, May 1st to the 21st, okay? And right now, my date for the 90, okay, for the 90-day training course, and it's a 90-day training course because it's a master's training course. It's a master practitioner's training course. I don't care if you've been a practitioner for 20, 30, 40 years. I promise you that it'll be the training of your life. And if you always wanted to be a practitioner, just know that when you come to any of my courses, when you leave my courses, whether it's just an 8-day whole life coach or whether it's just the 11-day Wolfe Non-Surgical, you'll be ready to practice. And what I teach you, whether if it's the whole life coach, it's emotional, nutritional, psychological, okay, consulting that you do, you will be ready and you will be better than the rest of the consultants that live in your area. How's that? And when it comes to Wolfe Non-Surgical, trust me, it's not difficult to be the best bodywork person when you've got Wolfe Non-Surgical, because there is no technique that will reduce a tumor, a fibroid tumor, in about a half an hour to 40 minutes. If it's the size of, let's say, tangerine, down at least 20 to 40%. How's that? And lovingly doing it too. And all the other things I teach you, nobody does what we do. Nobody talks about the way we talk and practices the way we practice that I know of. Okay? All right. So let's begin the show. All right. Tanya, hi, she just sent this in. Tanya, hi, Dr. Wolfe. When we book a consultation, do we go to your office for it, or is it online? Well, Tanya, you could come to my office if you could drive here, but just to let you know, 95% of all our consultations are done by either Skype. They're also done by Skype, they're done by FaceTime, or they're just done by telephone. And it's a toll-free number. And understand something. Whether you want to believe this or not, we'll prove to you that it's the $150 you spend, you only spend it one time. You'll get an hour recording from that first consult, okay? And I go through every case history that my master consultants consult. So we go through it together. Then they consult you. You get an hour consultation hour consultation the first time, and you'll get the audio along with it. And then you have free access. My extension is number 5. And people who have consultations, they come first and foremost. And you also have access to your consultant as well. And understand something. It's all about strategy, isn't it? I mean, think about it. Think about the strategizing that this small group of people have done to make us believe that a little virus is taking the world down and we need to destroy the economy. And I hope you know this, okay? More people have died due to COVID than people with COVID. Isn't that something? More people have died, how about in some areas 10 and 20 times the amount because of COVID. And you haven't seen anything yet, okay? All right? So this is why, I did get a little bit frustrated, I got to tell you, with the mask thing at the beginning. Now I don't, because I try to stay away from them and I just won't wear a mask. But the reality is this, I'm not going to get upset because people decide they want to do something that actually is making them sick. They've been doing that since the beginning of time. People will eat a SAD diet, which is approved and certified by every government in North America. I mean, gosh, we know that dairy is a complete poison, and dairy is the main cancer-causing food that we put in our mouth today. And then guess what? We're so brainwashed that I'll tell people, well, do you eat dairy? No. Okay. All right. Then why do you have cheese down here? Is cheese dairy? Cheese is dairy? Yeah. It comes from milk, and it's the worst thing. Just a piece of cheese is going to put a cork up your butt. So, it's like this. People have no idea. And honest to God, they have no idea what real health is. They have no idea. And people aren't going to like me saying this. They have no idea what real love is. Because you won't know real love until you totally honor and love yourself first and foremost. Because then if you don't love yourself completely, then guess what? You're looking for everyone else to love you. So that's just a part-time thing. Oh, here's some more love. When somebody needs love from you, they give love to you, you give love to them, right? But what if you could totally honor and respect yourself? Well, then you might even eat better. You might even research. You might go, hey, this doesn't vibrate at my level. And that's the problem, because people eat such low vibrational foods. It's so easy to accept the mask, the 6-foot rule, and to totally get rid of the human spirit, because guess what? You don't love yourself. And then people are going, that's a bunch of BS. He doesn't know anything. Let me tell you something. People that are high vibrational know that they're bigger than a virus. And understand something. They've never isolated the COVID virus. They haven't isolated the HIV virus yet, for God's sakes. And the gentleman that said he did isolate the HIV virus, he got sent to jail for that because he lied. Liar, liar. Everything's a lie out there. Don't tell me about medical health. Don't tell me about science, okay? Because there's so much is a big lie. Nature doesn't lie. Layla, I just received the Avicen today. What benefits can I feel when using it? Can't wait to start. Well, here's the reality of it. The Avicen increases the microcirculation in the human body by 66%, and a hyperbaric chamber won't even do that. So I'm not telling you not to do a hyperbaric chamber. I'm just trying to tell you that Avicen is the most powerful energy medicine device when it comes to increasing microcirculation. And wherever the microcirculation is the lowest, that's where the energy gets sent. So whether you're talking heart disease, diabetes, whether you're talking about gout, whether you're talking about breathing problems, whether you're talking about brain disorders, the energy actually gets sent there because your body has a built-in mechanism to actually send that heat, to send that vibration and energy to those areas that are blocked. And if you know about circulation, then you'd know that 26% of the macro circulation, like your arteries, your veins, your bigger lymph nodes, okay, but the 74% is the microcirculation, which is the lymph vessels, the arterials, and the venules, and understand something. So look at the streets and the highways. The highways being the macro circulation, the streets being the micro circulation. There's so many more streets, isn't there? So, I mean, it's great to have these highways, but understand the macro circulation goes before the macro. So your venules and your arterials will actually get blocked before you even know you have a problem in your arteries, in your veins. But the reality is you'll know, because you will feel pain, you'll feel inflammation, and you'll have stiffness maybe in that area. So you're going to have different symptoms. So what differences are you going to see? Well, you're going to sleep a lot better. You're going to feel a lot more relaxed, because the Avicin will put the body into a parasympathetic state within 3 to 5 minutes of using it. I use the Avicin for about an hour every night. I used to do a half an hour in the morning, but there's just no time right now. We're so busy. The more craziness that goes on out there, the busier that we are at our clinic. And the reality is, we still have families coming to us. We have 2 families here right now that are getting doing personal treatment and trainings, and they're leaving. And then another family is coming in 2 days. So the reality is it doesn't slow down for us, because people are waking up to the fact that they've got to own their own life. And the reality is you got to bring therapy home, bring love home, bring therapy home. Make your home into a love health zone, and make yourself into your own practitioner. When I say trust no one, I mean, you have to have trust, but don't trust anyone when it comes to your health. Make sure you do your own detective work, research, and validate. And I'm not just talking about everybody else. I'm talking about myself. Validate my work. Make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Okay? All right. Let me see here. What else will you see different? Well, anything that's got to do with circulation. I mean, the difference between somebody who's on their deathbed, they don't have good circulation. They can't even poop or pee anymore. And that's one of the things that will go. You'll actually poo better, pee better, just with the Avicin. Everything's about circulation. Stiffness will leave. Inflammation will go down. Pain will go down. Headaches will leave. You'll sleep better. There's just so many things. Anyways, if you want to take a look at it, anybody about the Avicin, please go to my library and just click on the Energy Medicine Guide, and then you can take a look at the videos in there, and you can look at the information. Eileen, I have leukoplakia. Definition: a condition in which one or more white patches or spots, lesions, forms inside the mouth. Bear with me, everyone, for a second, would you? I just need to take a big drink. Thank you. So she has lesions, otherwise white patches. Now, lesions are usually scar tissue, everyone, and that's where there's been inflammation. So it's like wherever the weakest link is in the body, when you have inflammation in your body, that weak link. So I won't say that she had a dairy, but dairy can be the problem. Sugar can be the problem. Flour can be the problem. But understand something. Where it starts is it starts in the large intestine, even though we're talking about the mouth, okay? It starts in the large intestine. And the healthier bacteria are going to decipher or tell you how healthy your skin is going to be, whether it's inside your mouth or whether it's outside, the skin outside you, or the skin inside the mouth, right? Or the tissue inside the mouth. So you really got to look at that. She says, should I use Silver Bullet or Bright Eyes in my nose? Absolutely. But please take a really good look at your large intestine, and that will definitely help. We know that there's imbalance. I mean, the only time that you're going to have symptoms like that is if you have imbalance in your body, okay? You can also even use like Okay, so what you can do too is you can also make this into a vapor, right? And you can nebulize the silver, and you can nebulize the fulvic eye drops. And guess what else? You can also nebulize the calcium ion therapy. That's right. You can put a little bit of the calcium ion liquid in here, and you can actually ionize that, okay? And if you take a look at how powerful calcium ions are, and you don't need much when you're breathing in calcium ions. So, it's really powerful when it goes in through your sinuses, because the calcium ions will actually go behind your eyes, in your sinuses, in your ears, and they'll actually even go up into your pineal gland and brain. How's that? Okay? All right? Bond. What about a bloody nose? They had me try sleep apnea machine, and understand something. So do people have trouble sleeping because of a lack of a sleep apnea machine? Or do they have trouble sleeping because they have so much anxiety throughout the day? Oh man, just think if you had stocks and sleep apnea machine. Most people can't sleep right now. They're stressed right out. Okay, you can't let your mind. You've got to be the master of your mind. You've got to master your mind. And if you don't master your mind, you get to get a sleep apnea machine. And there's the deal right there. I mean, let's put it this way. If I were to get everybody right now to mind their own happiness, do you understand? If your happiness was the most important thing right now, before anybody else or anything else, man, wouldn't this world change? That's right. Because if you were truly going to be happy, you would really look at what people tell you to do, what they tell you to eat, what they tell you to think, what they tell you to drink, and you would stop. You would. So when your happiness really means a lot to you, it will change. You will be able to sleep at night. Oh yeah, you will. And the other thing I'm going to tell you, if I had trouble sleeping at night, which I don't, my head, before it hits the pillow, I'm asleep. And you know why? I get up. I stay in the present moment as much as possible all day long. I keep a slight smile on my face. I give everybody positivity. And no matter what goes wrong, what goes sideways, what fails, right? We do our best. It's an adventure. This is a fun-filled, life-threatening adventure, everyone. Okay? And you can't take things personal. And understand something. I don't need approval from any system or any agency, and I definitely don't. Let me tell you something right now. I mean this in the nicest way, but guess what? I will have nothing to do with any governmental system at all. None of them. None of them are any good. They're all poison. They're all toxic. They're all twisted. End of story. They're not there to help us. Forget that. I mean, the other day I did a one-a-day and I meant it, I mean, people don't even know the beginning of this. I mean, how many people know that their income tax, and people are going to go, he doesn't know anything. Now you're going to think I'm cuckoo. That your income tax, 40% goes to the Queen in England. She's not my queen. And 60% goes to the Vatican. Oh, please. All right. So the reality is we're never getting out of debt, okay? The government's never going to clean up its act, okay? All right? Justin Trudeau, who's our prime minister, sold us out to China already. The reality is this, we got a mess on our hands. And when people do wake up, then we're going to have a big shakeup. And then people are going to be trying to push back, It's like, the little boy in the dike, right? We waited till all the dike had all these holes, and then we start patching it, right? But I get it. You've been taught not to love yourself, care for yourself. So who cares, right? And then when everything goes to hell in the basket, watch everybody go crazy. Yeah. So what about a bloody nose? They had me try a sleep apnea machine. It dried out my nasal, and I had a bloody nose. Bloody noses and dry, crusty since been over a year. Absolutely. Because what you should be doing is things like this, mag infusion. This type of magnesium, you put it in your mouth. There's a little scoop in here. You can put 1 to 2 to 3 scoops in. Put it under your tongue. It's a little metallic tasting. And you know what? You could do this 3 to 6 times a day if you wanted to do 1 scoop, and it's just going to calm you down like a kitten. And understand something, Bond. The only reason why you need a sleep apnea machine is because you're terrorizing yourself, but not on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, and it's not your fault. Okay? It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to go in there and rewire your brain. Let me ask you a question, Bond. Do you believe that you're cursed by God? Do you believe maybe that if you were to change the way you think, that you would be calm and more peaceful at nighttime when you sleep, or what do you think's going on here? So if you were to get rid of all inflammatory foods, get rid of all inflammatory thoughts, wouldn't that create peace of mind? And if you had peace of mind, don't you think that you would be able to go down, and that would be it? So there's other things you can do. Like you should be looking at the calcium ion therapy. If you go look at my calcium ion therapy guide in my library, you should be on the magnesium. You should be drinking hot water throughout the day as much as possible to calm your system down. You should be doing the belly button therapy. You should be doing like pelvic activation squats and making sure you're having 3 large bowel movements a day by doing the daily cleansing tea. These are things that everybody needs to do. We should be doing 15,000 IUs of vitamin D. Well, not you. I used to do 15,000 IUs of vitamin D. Now, do you hear that little cough I still have? Well, when I was younger, okay, all right, even when I was practicing health, I would smoke cigarettes. And I still have this little cough whenever I get a bit of a cold or a flu. I had a cold or a flu about a week ago. It's still not gone because I'm really working it right now, trying to get some projects done. But I have what's called a vitamin D light, and I have these crystal panels in front, which I use every day. But when I had the COVID, I was doing 50,000 IUs of vitamin D twice a day with my vitamin D light. And that's how I knocked it out so fast. You know, let's put it this way. Your government is only going to talk about the things that big pharma wants them to talk about. They're not going to talk about anything else. This is just humic fulvic and water. Your government's only going to talk about the things that big pharma wants them to talk about. TV's only going to have the things that big pharma sells. So understand that. So if you're the majority of the population and you're part of the herd, then you're off to the butcher. Okay. So again, what I said was do the nebulizing. Okay. In a situation like this, you'd want to do the nebulizing of the silver bullet. You want to do that of the silver bullet, the ionic calcium, and if you wanted, and you can also do it of the bright eyes. But please get yourself silver bullet gel and put the gel up into your nose, and it'll help to heal your nose. Okay, and bloody noses. Well, it's mainly because it's drying your nose out. And you know what? I had a bloody nose about a month ago, and it just went boom. And you know what? I was getting real stressed. There was so much stuff going on, a whole bunch of stuff going sideways. So anyways, it just poured out like a funnel. But when it did, I didn't get scared. I just went, okay, Daryl, take a chill pill. This is you. You know, I'll tell you something. Just like the whale has to blow off. You know, I have a doctorate in acupuncture. And what I used to teach people before, when we were allowed to tell people to do this, is I'd give them an acupuncture needle. And I would say, here, take this home. If you get a bloody nose again, or you feel like you're going to get one, just give your finger a little prick on the end, or your toe, and just squeeze out one little drop of blood, and that'll bring your blood pressure down. I know you don't believe this, but it's the truth. Yeah, go figure, eh? So anyways, I used to get bloody nose when I was a kid too, and my parents were in the process of divorcing. Now, they don't have to be in the process of divorcing, because the actual bloody nose, it would be caused by the amount of terror that I'm causing myself. Go figure, eh? Okay. So anyway, sleep apnea machine. Again, you're going to do the magnesium. You're going to do the belly button therapy. Okay. Before bed, they put this in your belly button. This is the belly button therapy kit, it's called. And takes about 5 to 7 minutes to go through the little routine. You get a brochure on it, and it'll release 50% of your dopamine and 70% of your serotonin. So you're like, right? And then when you go to bed, you should be practicing the lion heart breathing. And you should also be focusing on the way you want to see your life and just how beautiful you are. And realizing that you are eternal. Your spirit's eternal. You know, if you feed the spirit, okay? If you feed the spirit, you heal the body. I want you to think about that. And that's not the same as being religious. I hope you know that, okay? So there are people that are, I guess, religious that are feeding their spirit. But how many are actually feeding their spirit? Because the feeding your spirit part would mean that you would actually have to love, honor, and respect yourself, not just get on your knees and pray. You'd actually have to love yourself. You'd have to honor and respect yourself and not put yourself into judgment jail. So if you're doing that, that's not called feeding the spirit. I had a big conversation today with a family, and they've got kids. And we went over some things, and I helped them understand something. And they said, we never thought about it like that. They spank their kids. They judge their kids. Depending on how much they feel that the child is not listening to them or coming up against them, the judgment factor would come in. And I said, just do me this thing and we'll talk every few days. So they've got 6 kids and they're all different ages. I said, why don't you sit down with them, talk to them like adults and say, why did you do that? Why'd you break that? Why'd you lie about that? Why are you doing that? Talk to them and have like an adult conversation. You can't have an adult conversation with a child. You know, are you angry at me? Is there something that I'm doing, something that I did, or is there something I'm not doing? I need to know because I just want us to have the most beautiful, loving relationship. So understand, I guess there was a time in the world that we needed to, spare the rod and spoil the child. Well, that's what was going on in my family when I was young. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work, okay? We've had enough physical and emotional abuse. And don't tell me we have a justice system because we don't. We have an abuse system out there, and it's in most homes. People don't even know it's because my father did it, I do it, so there you go. Rachel, hi there. Do you have any knowledge or help guidance to get off of okay, I can't even say it. Okay, I've been struggling for years. I have come down. I can't even make heads or tail. It wasn't spelt right. Okay, we'll just skip that one, and maybe Tara will redo it. Okay. All right. Dennis, I have done some detox and cleansing in the last year and doing somewhat better, but I was thinking of doing a coffee enema routine. I have some inflammation from some injuries. We all have had injuries throughout our life, okay? And emotional and physical, and the emotional ones become physical ones too. And would love to be healthier and enjoy some retirement years without the pain. Well, first of all, I don't believe in retirement, but if you're going to retire and do something really amazing, that'd be really cool, okay? Because most people that end up retiring just get sick, okay? Want to do this as naturally as possible. I watched a couple of your videos on coffee enemas, and it looks like this is a start. Well, no. First, you want to take the daily cleansing tea, because you got to get the bowels moving before you try to clean the liver. That's really important, okay? Oh, I don't have a coffee enema bucket up here. But that's okay. You can find it on my website. So first of all, you want to, okay, here's the basic rules. Go to my library, click on the Perfect Day Guide, or you can just go to my library and click on the 4 pillars and take a look at the diet, the nutrition, the exercise, and the emotional. Go walk through that. But the deal is, get yourself on a whole plant-based diet as much as possible. So a whole plant-based diet is not a vegetarian diet, because a vegetarian diet, well, first of all, I don't think vegetarians are healthy unless they're on a whole plant-based diet. And I really believe, and I know that people don't want to believe this, but I don't think that you can actually stay healthy and be healthy unless you're on at least weight volume, 80% whole plant, organic, fresh and raw. Whether you're juicing berries and doing blender drinks avocado, whether you're having a salad. Okay, and of course, you can throw some beans in there, some chickpeas maybe. And don't overdo the nuts, guys. Don't overdo the seeds. Everybody's going crazy with that stuff. But it's fresh and raw. And if you're doing sprouts, sprouts are amazing. But that's what you want to do. And I try to really kick in the carrot juice this time of year. And also the carrots are really fresh and they're not expensive. So if you don't want to be juicing vegetables that are expensive, do beets and carrots. And then throw a little bit of apple in there if you want. So that's what I kind of do. And carrots are just so amazing for you. Okay. So look at the the perfect day diet, the perfect day lifestyle diet, which is basically a whole plant-based diet. Start taking the daily cleansing tea, tummy love, black gold. Really get that digestive tract working good. Get about 2 to 3 really good bowel movements a day, like a big old cow plop, not watery, just like a cow plop when it hits, because we want to loosen the waste up in the large intestine, okay? Now, once those bowels get moving, you can kick in the coffee enema. And understand, nothing cleans the liver like a coffee enema. There is no herbal concoction that does it. So I agree with you there. Now, as far as fasting goes, first of all, do the intermittent fasting where you're not eating from 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night until 11 or 12 o'clock during the day. And start your day with a quart at least of hot water and put tummy love in it. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, and then just drink liquids up until 11, 12, and then break that with a blender drink of berries at 11. Maybe do a really big salad at noon. So today I had a large salad at 12 o'clock, and tonight I'm going to have another large salad, okay, for supper. And that's all I'm going to have today. And I swear, that's what I'm going to eat today. All right? So the reality is, you will need to eat less food when you master your mind. If you don't master your mind, you'll never master your body, and you'll always be exhausted. You'll always be tired. You won't be able to sleep at night. You'll need a sleep apnea machine. Okay? You'll keep on feeling like you need things to stimulate you to bring your energy level up. But you know what? If you connect to your Lionheart breathing, put a slight smile on your face, and you go, I am amazing. I was created by God Almighty. I am an infinite spirit. And if I feed my spirit, I can bring my energy levels up. So people try to bring their energy levels up with the physical, when actually it's the invisible that creates all physical. Because like I've said before, and you better get this, all the food you eat and all the drink you eat leaves the body. The only thing that stays behind is the frequency. You know, E equals MC squared is the Einstein theory. And that means that energy creates mass. So energy created the body. Mass did not create mass. Do you understand that? And we also know scientifically that energy cannot be destroyed. So guess what? You are infinite. So act like it. Okay? All right? Anyways, give it a start there. I would always tell someone to get a consultation, though. For $150, I'll give you a money-back guarantee. If it doesn't blow your mind, if it doesn't do what you want, we'll give you your money back. That's it. Dr. Wolfe, I have shingles. I'm 52, and the doctors gave me medication to take, and I really do not like how I'm feeling on it. Can you recommend a natural alternative? Okay, first of all, nature's not the alternative, guys. Did you get that? Nature's not the alternative. Medicine was the alternative. If you want an alternative, there it is over there, medicine. And understand something. With nature, and by doing it right, the pain and inflammation may not go away right away, but that's because we're in to heal it. We're not in to tell our body to shut up. So understand something. When you take the shingles medication, what it's actually doing, okay, is actually cutting off the pain and the inflammation, so your brain can't read it. So it's still going on inside your body. So you got to understand that. So the drug's probably very acidic and toxic, so it's going to make you more acidic. So it may shut down the shingles, but it's going to suppress the shingles back into the tissues, and then you're going to have even more issues in your tissues later. Natural alternative preventative measure, so there's no next time. Well, understand, if you were to take a look at it, I guarantee you that you either went out and ate a lot of ice cream or did alcohol, and then usually what comes before the lot of alcohol or the ice cream or the flour products or the sugar products or the dairy products is what? Stress. Did you ever notice people don't go when they're stressed and eat right? They eat incorrectly. Okay, so you probably had a little bit of an emotional thing going on. That's why we really got to put a little mini you on your shoulder and watch the way your mind is working. And understand something. Everybody's just running a program. If you really wanted to become awake and you watched every family member, you'd see that everybody has a program. Oh, look, it's 3:15. Jenny just went off again. Okay. Oh, look, there's Uncle Harry. It's 3 weeks. So right about now, he should be going on a 4-day binger with alcohol, and then he'll lock himself in his room for 6 days. So the reality is everybody's running programs. I'm running a program, except I'm running a program that I like. So are you running a program that you like? Because your subconscious is just a computer, and the software is your beliefs. And if your beliefs suck, then the computer's going to keep on running the same sucky program. Think about that one. I'm 52 and the doctor gave me medication to take, and I really do not like how I'm feeling. Not many people like their medication unless they're totally numbed out and they don't feel anything anymore. Medications are toxic, and that's it. I'm not telling you not to do drugs, people. Sometimes you want to just shut the pain down to give yourself a break. I get it. So I'm not trying to take the place of your doctor. I'm not trying to take the place of your medication. I'm trying to tell you that don't be scared to embrace nature and start loving yourself well. Can you recommend a natural alternative or preventative measure so there's no next time? I'm already on probiotics. Well, you know what? Probiotics are good, but the reality is this. Nothing outperforms a whole plant-based diet. Probiotics are aliens. They're alien to the gut because mummy's bacteria is the only bacteria. So even if you just had one of mummy's bacteria left, if you were on a whole plant-based diet, you were doing tummy love, daily cleansing tea, and black gold, I guarantee you would turn around mummy's bacteria and you would have trillions of them in just days or weeks, okay? He's also on 8,000 units of vitamin D, which is good. I mean, everybody picks different units. You talk to this guy, you talk to that guy. You know, if I didn't have a vitamin D crystal energy light, I'd be doing 15,000 IUs every day, and I was doing it for years. 15,000 was my minimum, and if I felt like I was getting a flu or a cold, I'd do 50,000 twice a day. That's me. I'm not telling anybody else to do it, but that's where I'm at. Okay? Okay, for many years. Okay, so understand something, okay? I've never had shingles, okay? But I will tell you, I've worked with a lot of people with shingles, okay? And it is a virus problem, again, and you have to understand that you've got inflammation and you've got infection. And remember something. What creates the specific viruses in the body? What we eat, think, and drink. So what do you mean what we think? Well, we all run programs, just like, you know, oh, my mother had breast cancer, I have breast cancer. My father had heart disease, I have heart disease. Well, the mind creates everything. It's epigenetic, not genetic, for one thing. And I don't mind debating. Anybody would love to debate me on that because it was already proven. They did what was a huge study called the Genome Project. And what they found is that it was epigenetic, not genetic. And that's why you never got to hear about it after they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on this project. Go figure, right? They're not going to come and tell you that it's what you think before what you eat and what you drink, and it's not genetics. Okay. Now, again, we're back to the same thing. You know, a lot of people go, but Dr. Wolfe, you know, 60 to 70% of your program is the same for me as it is for my mother, and we have different conditions. Well, you're both human beings, and we know that the large intestine is the holy grail of your immune system. For your body, it houses 85% of your immune system. We know that your core, okay, stores your energy and creates it, okay? We know that a well-balanced diet will go and heal everything from A to Z. We know that if we if we cleanse the liver, the colon, the lymph, and if we learn how to do the Braveheart 12 loving steps that we're going to bring our vibration up. You know what? When's the last time that you actually made a conscious decision that you were going to watch how you thought for one day? One day. Today, I'm going to see how I think. So every 15 minutes, I'm just going to take a notepad. Oh, how am I feeling right now? Oh, I feel a little depressed. Why? I don't know. Oh, just watch how people are up and down, up and down. And it's all about it. It's the same thing with somebody who's like a really good athlete. One day, they can run the quarter mile at a certain time, and then tomorrow, they can't do it. And guess what? They have the same body, they have the same mind, but they don't have the same beliefs. So when your beliefs change, you change. So the reality is what you did today, you should be able to do tomorrow if you were the master of your mind. So that's whether we're talking about getting an Olympic medal for something and repeating that, okay? It's called create the perfect day from the minute you get out of bed until you go and you rest your head. And if you can do that and create a strategy and repeat that every day, you're going to pretty well have a perfect day every day. And the reality is, if you don't take things personal and you don't need approval from anyone anymore to totally love, honor, and respect yourself, then you'll become the light for everyone, and they'll go, wow, I guess he didn't die by totally loving, honor, and respect himself, and God did not throw a lightning bolt, okay, at him for loving and totally respecting himself or herself. And you recommend, okay, so anyways, if I had shingles, I would want to get a full-blown consultation, and I'd also want to look at the emotional side of it, because don't you dare tell me that shingles do not have an emotional attachment. Harris, I get bloated after eating food. Well, Harris, I can tell you this much. That, right off the bat, Harris, if you get bloated right after you eat food, that means the hydrochloric acid that gets dumped into your stomach to digest your food is really weak. And that means that you're really acidic. Now, hydrochloric acid is what digests the food, but when people get acidic, it's a different thing. You get acidic because of, like I said, stress, and also not food combining properly, too much dairy, too much sugar, too much flour, too much eating of dead animal products, not combining your foods properly. Like a lot of people will take a starch and a protein together, and then you neutralize the protein and the starch enzymes, and then you get bloated. Or, Harris, you're so stressed out that you're not chewing your food. Let me tell you something, Harris. Try this and then give me a call. My extension is number 5. Give me a call tomorrow and prove me wrong. Here's the deal. Whatever you eat tonight, and I don't know what you're going to eat, but I guarantee you that you're not eating that well, because this wouldn't be happening. So I'll give you a clue. So if you were to actually, okay, chew your food until it was a liquid, you wouldn't bloat. Did you get that? Now, if you actually have broken down your digestive tract, because what you have is you have one cell thick in your digestive tract that acts as a barrier. Now, if that has been worn down and pulled apart, they're called tight junctions. The cells are really tight. If they've been pulled apart, okay, and you've got inflammation in here, then you're going to be unable to eat things like carrots unless they're cooked, broccoli, cauliflower, or anything in high fiber and concentrated. Because the weaker you are, the less strength you have to do things. So if you already have inflammation in your digestive tract and you've got a scrub brush coming in, which would be broccoli and cauliflower, so and you're not breaking them down, then they will putrefy. So in this is how it goes. It doesn't matter if it's organic, doesn't matter. Well, it does matter for health-wise, but whether it's organic or not, if your digestive tract is damaged and it's inflamed, which we call autoimmune disease, which we call leaky gut, okay, then what happens is you don't have the ability to break down those foods. Then if they don't digest, they have to putrefy. So understand something, even an expensive Porsche is going to have a backfire every once in a while. You got to take it on the highway, give it a good run, okay? But the reality is, if you're bloated, that means you've got gas. That means you've got a lot of bad bacteria in you, and you don't have the ability to digest your foods properly. So, food combining, okay? chewing your food until it's a liquid, okay? Really, chewing it down. I mean, if you're swallowing large particles of food, the hydrochloric acid and the enzymes from your pancreas, they only surround the outer area of those particles of food. So if they're large, you're digesting only the outside and you're not digesting the inside. So the smaller the particle, the greater the digestion, assimilation, and the grab of the nutrition. So, but if you don't do that, like I said, it doesn't matter how much money you spend on your food, it's going to turn on you. Okay? All right? And anybody that gets bloated, I would really highly suggest too that do you get heartburn? Definitely, if you get heartburn, make sure you don't let heartburn take over. You really need to get that turned around. Heartburn actually can cause heart problems, and it can cause esophageal cancer and lots of ulcers in the stomach as well. Okay? So take a look at that, and if you do get heartburn, make sure you take a level teaspoon of baking soda. It can be Arm & Hammer. Don't fall for that. Got to buy the expensive stuff in the health food store because it has aluminum. Because the aluminum is not in baking soda; it's in baking powder. So you got to buy a really good baking powder, and it needs to say aluminum free for your cooking. But baking soda, you can just use Arm & Hammer, and you just got to get a teaspoon. And I'll do like a rounded teaspoon if I get heartburn, and I'll put it into glass. And even if somebody were to do a teaspoon on an empty stomach of Arm & Hammer baking soda twice a day, it alkalines. It could save you from cancer, save you from heartburn. It can save you from bloating a lot. But don't do it right when you eat. You got to do it when your food leaves the stomach because you're that acidic, okay? So we want to do it on an emptier stomach. And there's so many people out there that I just say, just stick with it because it is the cheapest, most powerful thing that you can do. Trust me, you're going to feel better. And even if you just stressed yourself out, you feel tight from the stress, then get yourself the baking soda, put excuse me, put it in a 10-ounce glass of water and then drink that, okay? And it can be warm or cool. Just don't make it ice cold, okay? All right? Michelle, Mom has blood clots since she was 19. Mom's been constipated severely since she was 9. There it is. I guarantee you that if Mom starts drinking structured water, this is a structured water unit, okay? All right? If Mom starts drinking structured water and she does at least 3 quarts a day, and the first quart of the day, 3 to 4 quarts a day, I'm telling you, you're not going to burn out your kidneys. And she does the first quart of the day hot water, okay, and she can mix a little bit of lemon if she wants, or I would put Tummy Love in there. I would do that first. I would get on the daily cleansing tea, right? Mom needs to take daily cleansing tea morning and night. You know, if you took daily cleansing tea, everybody, morning and night, if you didn't have any more money than that, you just saved yourself 85% at least of your pain and suffering, and you just lost weight. You just got rid of low back pain. You just got rid of all that water retention. I could keep going on and on. But the reality is the large intestine's the holy grail. So, Mom's got to get the cork out of her butt. Mom's got to get enough water into her that she can get the logs to the mill. Otherwise, have 3 good poops a day. Mom's got to take a look at the perfect day and get on the whole plant-based diet. That's a start. And then, you know, I would suggest that you get Mom to do a consultation. Buy her one for Christmas, $150. And then get on the consult with her and listen so that you can support your mother, Michelle. That's the best gift you're going to give her. I swear. Okay? There's a lot of other tricks. You can send her to my library. Oh, but guess what, everybody? Tuesday, tomorrow, is the 12 Days of Poo. Okay, I called it 12 Days of Poo. I know I'm a bit of a silly character. But the reality is every day for half an hour, I'm going to be playing How to Become Number 1 at the Art of Number 2. And it's just a half hour, and people should be able to bite that off. It'll be up on Facebook and YouTube. It'll be on also Telegram. It'll also be on BitChute. And it'll also be on Instagram. Right, Drake? Yep. Correct? Okay, good. I just want to make sure that I'm right. All right. But understand, Mom has clots. Well, why does she have clots? Well, let's think about it. The blood is the river of life. And why would we have coagulation and getting blood clots? Well, she doesn't drink enough water. Okay, she's too acidic. She's probably stressed out. She's eating too much dead food, too much inflammatory foods, which you know the ones we talked about. Get her to go and take a look at the 4 pillars. Get her to do the diet, some of the nutrition, some of the emotional work, and start getting her to do the exercises. Guys, the best exercise you'll ever do are the Doc of Detox, length and strength, and detox and tone exercise. I swear. Okay? So please check that out, Michelle. Crystal, how can I change my body after gallbladder was taken out? First of all, you just increase your chance of bowel cancer by 400% if you keep on having the same emotional situation go on. Okay, because understand, when the gallbladder is taken out, the gallbladder kind of is the overflow for the liver, and there's a lot of suppressed anger. Now people go, oh my God, he's so full of it. Well, fine. Take a look at Crystal. Think about what you're angry about. Okay, what are you angry about? What are you angry about that you can't change? What are you angry about who you can't change? What are you holding on to that you're not letting go? What is this anger? Now, the gallbladder's now gone. So the reality is, you better make sure that that colon's working great. I would be really taking a look at doing the daily cleansing tea. I would also, honest to God, I would also be looking at doing some liver cleansing, okay? My health is not great. I want to get better. Well, if you do, Crystal, get a whole life consultation, okay? So get a perfect day consultation. Go to my website, click on the consultation. It's $150, man. You can waste so much money, but you know what? Would you like a coach? Would you like a guide? That's how we get better. Don't you want somebody that's going to keep you on task? Somebody that's going to lovingly giving you that push every day. And as you grow, they will grow your program with you. You never pay again with us. So now, how do you allow older people who want to do the water fast do it without losing muscle? Okay. Nobody loses muscle on a water fast, okay? They don't, unless their immune system is really low. So what we need to do is build up their immune system and actually build up and get an exercise program for older people as well, because older people just don't exercise. But never go more than 3 days. Or, try do this. I say, why don't you do 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off, and see if they lose any weight. Even a 24-hour fast. But 3-day fast is enough to kick in autophagy and the stem cell therapy. Okay? Now, everybody, I just want to say this, that on Intercom on our website, if you want to be up on everything we're doing, we do emails. You might want to send your email to us. Now, we're not going to ever banter you. We'll tell you when there's a sale on, but we don't use our email to do anything like except, hey, this is on, this show might be on. And also, especially on Facebook, if they ever take me down from Facebook, we need to collect everybody's emails so that we can let you know where our next platform is. That's going to be really important. We're actually going to create a page, a landing page, okay, so that people can actually give us their emails if they want, so that we can keep them. But I promise you, we'll never sell them. We won't bother you with things. We'll just let you know about things for training, and that will help to support you and your family. Bernadette, how can we sign up to do your 8-day training? You can call me on extension 5, or you can go to itioh.com. Otherwise, International Training Institute of Health. And what she means, everybody, is my whole life coach certification, where you become certified under the World Organization of Natural Medicine as an emotional and nutritional coach, and as a fasting coach. All of those in one umbrella. And yes, we do that in 8 days. Thank you. We do. And then we support you, and we support you with trainings every 2 weeks that you can come on to our practitioner trainings. But if you were to take a look at the manual that I have for my practitioners, there's nothing like it. You would be able to actually assess anybody on an emotional and physical level and be able to go through the proper steps. Okay? Understand, health was made to be hard, but it's not. Carol, so what would you suggest or do for a person with calcium deposits on their neck vertebrae that is almost fused? Well, I'll tell you right now. Here's the situation. So if it was my neck and I had calcium deposits on my neck, and then my neck was being fused, understand something. That is actually calcium being pulled from the bones. Actually, it's being pulled from the vertebrae, and it's being pulled from the clavicle area. And what happens is now you're getting osteoporosis in the neck, osteoporosis in this area. And those calcium deposits can go back if you use Merigen. Now, you could use things like Cardigen. Let me see, Cardigen, okay? This is the part of the calcium ion therapy. And if you go to my website and go to my library, click on the calcium ion therapy guide, and you can watch the videos on this. We actually talk about it. And the Cardigen is just half the strength of the Merigen. So if you want to really get in there, that will pull the calcium back into the bones where it belongs, and it'll turn on your proper bone making and breaking, and it'll also increase your stem cells. People don't realize this, but you know, when you're younger, okay, because around the age of 30 to 40, we lose the process of properly breaking and making bone, which means we lose a lot of our stem cell therapy, because it's the actual ions that get pulled off of the calcium that actually create a lot of the stem cells. And understand, there's a lot of stem cells in the jaw here. More stem cells are created in the jaw area than anywhere in the body. So I would be doing clapping. I'd be doing clapping on my neck, be doing clapping on my jaw, and I would probably clap each side for, you know, probably about 5 minutes here, 5 minutes on this side, 5 minutes on my neck here, 5 minutes here. And then I would actually clap the back of my neck for 5 minutes. And I do that every night. Trust me, it's going to get better. The clapping's going to help. The Merigen's going to help. I would also be rubbing what's called Muscle Restore. And I would also be rubbing what's called DMSO cream, rose cream. DMSO rose cream. It's not as strong as the gel, but you don't want to put the gel on here. It'll irritate. Gel is mainly for, this is the gel. This is mainly for like your knee, your ankle, you know, spine parts. You know, you could put it right on the spine, but if you're going to do it more often, you want to go with the rose cream. And then I would also use what's called Muscle Restore essential oil. And if you have that problem, you can call me, but I would be putting the rose cream on about 3 times a day, and I'd be putting the Muscle Restore on 12 times a day. Yeah, why would I? Oh, I'm going to keep putting the Muscle Restore on because the essential oils are going to get in there, increase the circulation, right? So, and the other thing is if you can go see a Wolfe Non-Surgical therapist, you know what's going to happen? How about this? I don't know where you live, Carol, but if you live somewhere near one of my master practitioners, or if you live near us, you come, I'll do the first treatment free on you, and then we'll show people that I gave you your range of motion back in one treatment. Did you hear what I just said? I'll work on your neck, okay, and we will prove that within 45 minutes to an hour of working on your neck, okay, and up in your occiput area, that we will restore, let me think, how about 30-40% minimum range of motion? How's that? And you'll be able to move around better, okay? Because it's not all calcium. It's crystallization, and it's also scar tissue wrapping around your spine. That's why they'll tell someone, oh, you've got stenosis, which means the nerve died. Well, the nerve didn't die, okay? The nerve got covered with calcium, and it got covered with scar tissue, and now you think it's dead. Well, at least the surgeon does. So now he says, well, I've got to go in and do an operation. And I'm telling you that, guess what? Surgery should be your last option. You know what should be your first one? That God created body of yours that can actually reverse this condition. That's right. Okay. Bon, how to lower triglycerides? Well, you'd have to take a look at your diet. Okay, you got to take a look at your diet. That's the main thing there. I would do colon cleansing with the daily cleansing tea, tummy love, black gold, and I would do the coffee enemas. Watch how that comes down right away. And Bon, are you actually on a whole plant-based diet? And I would also take a look at doing what's called curcumin cayenne 5000 to bring down the inflammation and to really help that blood. Okay? Rita, hello, doctor. I want to buy a few supplements from your shop. Can you recommend which ones are good for the flu and immune system? Well, right off the bat, drink all the hot water that you can. Okay? All right? And remember what I said about vitamin D? Okay? I already went through that. If I had, I had a cold and a flu the other day, I still did my vitamin D crystal energy light, but I also did 50,000 IUs twice a day, and it knocked it out in probably 24 hours. Okay, how about iodine? Well, if I was, I would do 12.5 milligrams of iodine. Right now, we don't have our infinite iodine on the shelf because people right now are kind of cuckoo and they can't seem to get their act together to get our infinite iodine back on the shelf. But I would take, you can take a time release called Iderol, and it's 12.5 milligrams. And there's a lot of people that need actually 25 milligrams, but it's a time release, right? It depends on how sluggish your metabolism is. Do you have trouble losing weight? Do you have trouble going to the bathroom? Is it really sluggish? Do you feel like your thought is really sluggish? And vitamin B12, definitely get on vitamin B12. We have a spray of that. It's really good. I have allergies from vitamin D. Well, it depends on the vitamin D, but I would take a look. Go to EMF/energy and go take a look at our vitamin D light. I mean, it's like $1,300 and it'll do a full body, and it only takes like 1 to 2 minutes on one side, turn around, and it totally saturates the body with vitamin D. Now, if you get a crystal panels, which you'll see in my, where I just told you to go to shop.docofdetox.com. If you go there, you'll see it in the EMF/energy. You'll see the vitamin D light. And what we do is a lot of people will buy the crystals, pure crystal panels that we'll put on the front of it. And then that's working right on your DNA and RNA. Okay. Other things, well, just know this, that the daily cleansing tea always comes first. Drinking structured water always comes. And if you can't drink structured water, drink hot water as much as possible right now, guys. And you'll be surprised about how it knocks out the cold and flu. Okay, let me take a look here. Charlene, Dr. Wolfe, my son is going to surgery for a broken foot. The bone is literally poking out out of his foot. Anyhow, they are putting a rod in. I don't want to keep the rod in long term. Do you suggest taking it out after the bone was healed in place, even though it would entail another surgery? I'm not a surgeon. I really am not a surgeon. And there are times when surgery is definitely something we have to do. But I will tell you right now, 95% of all surgery never has to get done. We're just surgery mental. We're drug mental. We've just totally forgot the body will heal. But in this case, I don't know, love. But I will tell you, your son needs to be on Cardigan, which I just showed. Cardigan for the bones, okay? For the bones. And if it's affordable, then I would suggest you do the Merigen, right? Now, after, and also he needs to be on vitamin D. Make sure he's taking lots of vitamin D. And with that, make sure he's taking a vitamin K, okay, for the absorption, all right? Now, one vitamin K. Now, the other thing is that when the foot gets healed, okay, I would suggest you go and see a Wolfe Non-Surgical therapist, because there's going to be so much scar tissue in there, crystallization in that foot. It's going to feel so stiff. I know he's younger, but the reality is it's going to make him feel amazing. Wait till it's healed. When they say, oh, it's healed, boom. And then the other thing I would get into, believe it or not, I'd get into clapping my foot once it's healed too, to get the circulation back. He can get on curcumin cayenne 5000 right away, bring down the inflammation, bring down the pain, and increase the circulation. Make sure that he's drinking lots of water. Make sure he's eating as much whole plant-based diet. Try to get him to not do dairy, please, and cheese, and sugar, and ice cream, and a ton of flour products. Understand, the more that high vibrational products, the better he's going to heal. And the other thing is, what you want to do too, he's probably not going to be up and around. So what I would do is I would get a massager. Now listen to this. So we have what's called a thumper, okay? And what we tell people is okay, you're not going to put the thumper down there and vibrate the foot right now because it'll hurt. But you put the thumper up higher by the hip, and the vibration, or in between the knee and the hip, the vibration keeps the circulation going in the foot, because it's all about circulation. Whatever you can do to increase the circulation and to increase the healing of it, Avastin's the best thing to heal anything like this. So take a look at Avastin in our energy medicine guide in the library. You can watch the videos. Excuse me. And you can also go to shop.docofdetox.com and go, like I said, into EMF/energy. And the Avastin is the fastest way to really get the healing to go right. I always suggest that everyone gets a consult. Like I said, once he has a consult, he gets free consultations for the rest of his life and questions. And, it might be something to think about if you really want the best healing. Doreen, will you still travel out of Canada if vaccines are mandatory to travel or hold a passport? All right, are you ready for this? I don't know what's going to happen, but the reality is this. You're going to think I'm crazy. I don't know. I'll rent a plane. I will. I'll rent a jet, and if I have to do a training in Mexico, I'll rent the jet. If it costs me whatever it costs me, I'll fly down there and I'll do a really big training, and then I'll use it as a write-off, and I'll come back. That's what I'll do. Oh no, I'm not getting a vaccination, so no, and it's not going to be mandatory. You got to understand something. And I'm not in the United States, and I didn't vote in the United States, and I don't have an opinion. But the reality of if Trump gets back in, it's not going to be mandatory. Okay. If Joe Biden gets in, and understand something, I am not political, so let's get that off the table. But if Joe Biden gets in, he was bought by the Chinese a long time ago, just like Justin Trudeau was bought by the Chinese a long time ago. I mean, Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre Trudeau, sold us out to the Chinese back in he screwed up everything in our banking back in 1974 and around that time, and he sold us off. Up until then, we did not have a deficit with income tax, and you should have saw it just went right up like this, okay? Because I'm not going to get into the whole political thing. Just understand something. You're talking to a guy that's done his research. Most people don't understand that common law supersedes government law. That's right. And most people are too scared to do anything because we've been programmed that way, because we watch TV, we read newspapers, and guess what? Nobody honest is actually writing these newspapers. Nobody honest is doing the news or the media. It's all owned by these guys. 4 corporations owned 95 to 96% of all the media in the world right now. So they get to say whatever they want, do whatever they want, and they get everybody to do what they want. That's it. Will you still travel out of Canada? Sir, I'm going to be traveling out of Canada. And the reality is, depending on what goes on, I don't know. I'm going to live where I can live. Okay, not survive. Thank you. Ryan. No, here. I'll come back to these first. Teddy. I was looking at your Bright Eyes drops. Could I safely use that with my dry macular disintegration? No, it's actually going to help to even stop it. Do you understand? Without my Bright Eyes, you're in big trouble. And if you've got macular disintegration, then you better own a pair of Tesla eyewear. So these are Tesla eyewear. So as soon as I put these on, everything just calms right down. But you see the blue light here that's coming off the computer, coming off these lights here? These aren't blue blockers. Okay, it's just like I don't want to manage pain. I'm going to master pain because understand something. Pain is a GPS telling you you're off track or not. So if you didn't have it, you'd be dead already. But as far as the blue light goes, just understand those same people that are telling you about COVID, well, they're the same people that are creating your computers with the blue light and the LED lighting and the TV with the blue light. Okay? And the phones with all the blue light that's poisoning us when they could have actually made it that it was going to heal us because we are light energy beings. So the frequency could have been a healing frequency. The light could have been a healing light. It's the same thing as why can't we get the chemicals out of the water? Why can't we get the toxic light and the toxic frequencies out of the computers, out of the phones? Well, because there's this elite group that are like so toxic and evil. I don't want to go into it. Whatever. But you know what? I know this is a life-threatening, fun-filled game for the whole family. But the reality is the family doesn't know the rules. All right. Teddy, Teddy, Bright Eyes. I would get the Bright Eyes, Teddy, and I would also get the Silver Bullet spray, and I'd use that too, and I'd get these Tesla glasses. These are worth gold to you. If you did those two things and then got on my perfect day diet, Teddy, and you cleaned your colon and your liver, your eyesight would improve and this would heal. The only reason why you're frying your eyes out with an inflammatory diet, with the blue light, okay? And understand something. Your eyes don't see, Teddy. Your brain sees. All your eyes pick up is the light and the frequency, and that goes in and your brain goes, what the hell is this? So you're setting your brain on fire, and that's why you've got a macular degeneration. Because, Teddy, do you work on a computer full time, or are you addicted to TV or looking at your phone? So it's got to be something, Teddy. And if it's not that, then you've got a sugar problem, an alcohol problem, okay? Or you've got a drug problem. I don't know, Teddy. Give me a call, and we'll talk about it. Christina, what do you recommend for endometriosis? Endometriosis. Okay, guys. Okay, I don't have my pelvis here. Can you tell someone to bring my pelvis up? So it's just a pelvis. It's not my pelvis. I got my pelvis right there. Okay. So here's the reality, okay? So I've said this. Your pelvis is a bowl. Now, you can't have endometriosis unless you've got tons of scar tissue in there. Did you hear what I just said? Tons of scar tissue. That's what endometriosis is. It's a scar tissue issue. Now, how could you get scar tissue? Let me think. Well, you could have scar tissue if you were totally inflamed in your pelvis. Well, how can you have inflammation in your pelvis? Well, you can only have inflammation in your pelvis if you've got infection. Well, how could you get infection in your pelvis? One way. Leaky gut, large intestine, is spilling, okay, poop particles in your pelvis. So now you got poop particles in your pelvis. Infection creates inflammation. Inflammation creates scar tissue formation. And if you want to get rid of your endometriosis, then you've got to get on the perfect day diet, which is a whole plant-based diet. You got to do the daily cleansing tea, black gold, tummy love. And could I get you to do some the ultimate coffee enema, where you're using some tummy love and black gold to really enhance it? Okay. Go take a look at that as well. And then let's do that. And then on January the 9th is our kickoff. I'll be coming on for a 1 hour to 1.5 hour session where I'm going to tell everybody what the rules are. So we're going to get everybody, trying to get them to do a perfect day diet and prepare their body to go and do a 6-day water fasting challenge. And that'll be 2 weeks later. So 2 weeks from the 9th, we'll do a 6-day water fasting challenge. And understand, if you want to get rid of endometriosis, you're going to. But guess what? What I want you to do. Thanks, Sean. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
How's the video coming?
Very good. Lots of cool graphics, lots of great information.
Yeah, you should see what's coming for you guys. This guy is a master. Come on and say hello to everyone, Sean. Come back here and say hello.
I didn't comb my hair.
Okay, there it is. Okay, all right. Does he look like a geek? Hey, but look at, he's a smart geek. What's he got on? Teslas, because he's on the computer all the time.
That's right.
Right? Okay, all right.
Got to protect my brain.
Okay, buddy, I'll give you your $5 later. Okay, I'm kidding. All right, so here's the deal. So there's the pelvis. Does that look like a soup bowl? Okay, so there it is. Endometriosis. Her endometriosis is right here. Big ball of scar tissue like webbing, okay, like a spider built, right? And why? Well, because the scar tissue and the displaced calcium that's coming from her hips, okay, and the crystallization from the lactic and uric acid is all coming in here to try to protect her ovaries, her uterus, okay, her fallopian tubes, and her bladder. Go figure, right? And that's, guess what? Okay, 98% of everybody that needs hip replacement and knee replacement, it's all coming because it's a scoop on poop that's getting into the bowl, and then it overflows into here. And then, of course, the waist goes down and it gets caught in the knees because the knees are like a bend in a river. So understand something. Look, I've got a picture, guys, if you don't believe me. Okay, somebody who just had a knee replacement. Do you know what they took out of them? It's this big. You know what it was? A big ball of scar tissue, calcium, okay? A big ball of scar tissue and calcium. Next time I do a show, let me see, do I do a show next Monday? I think so. So if I do a show next Monday, a Q&A, I'll actually have Drake put the slide up. Okay, Drake? Will you remind me?
Sounds good.
I want to show it to you. So the reality is that person with that big ball, we could have reversed that. That's right. So what we do is we say, look, if you're going for surgery, we'll give you a money back guarantee that if you go to surgery, after we get done with you, we'll give you your money back for all the therapy we did. Okay? Because guess what? We're not the smart ones. Your body is. All we do is turn the scar tissue back into beautiful connective tissue, whether it's tendons, ligaments, or just connective tissue, or it's cartilage. And we melt the crystallization and we put the calcium back into the bones with the calcium ion therapy. I hope you know I'm right. Nobody wants to come up against me on this one. But if they do, I'm willing to be challenged anytime. Any type of chiropractor, naturopath, anybody who wants to challenge me, you come right ahead. And it's not because I want to do that and I want this big debate. I want to prove to you that your body will reverse 99.9% of all of its problems. And the corporate world and a lot of practitioners, whether they're medical or natural, they're taught to just make money and treat and treat and treat and treat. You know, do you know how many natural health practitioners understand scar tissue crystallization and displaced calcium? How about maybe 5%, maybe 2%? And that's the God's truth. They're not dumb. They just never been taught this because that's the holy grail of everything. And the large intestine is the holy grail of your immune system. So, where was I? So, endometriosis. So, it's a scar tissue issue. And that's it. But guess what? Okay. Christina, the hardest part of this is going to be what? Christina, do you have family? Do you have children? Do you have a husband? Now, does your husband want to change his diet? No. Well, then there's going to be a riot because guess what? We don't do that, do we? Because we do what we've done the longest. We do what is the most prominent, strongest belief, even if it's killing us. I mean, people don't think. They're robots. And understand something. That's why they want to turn us into robots, because we don't think. And they're going to get away with it. No, they're not. I just made that up. They won't get away with it. You know what? This is just a battle over the spirit, okay? So you've got some psychotic elite people, okay, that have brainwashed the whole medical system. Let me tell you something. Your political, okay, politicians, your politicians are now the doctors of the world. Go figure. Wow, isn't that cool? See how that works out? Okay? That's like me saying that I should go in and do surgery tomorrow. All right? How well is that going to work out? There's going to be a lot of deaths. Okay? Because I don't know how to do surgery. Okay? Without it, we need it. We do need surgery. I didn't say we didn't, but the reality is this. So now you've got politicians, okay, playing health professionals. Wow. You think I would cause deaths if I went to do surgery? Wait to see what they're going to be doing. Okay? They're already doing it. More people have died, not from COVID, because guess what? People don't die from COVID. They already have illnesses. COVID is the straw that broke the camel's back. End of story. Okay? All right. So endometriosis, if you could actually see a Wolfe Non-Surgical therapist, I'm going to tell you something right now. Oh, and they'll go in and lovingly pull apart that scar tissue, because here's what's happening. Okay, so this is the knot we have in our body. This is the fibroid. This is the knot in your neck. This is the fibroid in your pelvis. This is the adhesion in your tummy after your cesarean. Okay, so it's all about a scar tissue issue. Okay, so if I got to go and untie it, and then I got to open up the fibers, and then it restores itself from the blood, oxygen, and nutrition, and the toxins and the invisible energy called your spirit that flows through everything. Okay? So what happens is, eventually, you've got all this webbing. Okay? So this is the webbing you've got inside you. This is the endometriosis. How do you like it? Then it's going to become, and it's going to get, after a while, it's going to tighten up even more, and you're going to have more down there until you have this big knot. Okay? So now you've got this big knot in you. There's your fibroid. So from endometriosis, we're going to go into a fibroid. So we've got to untie this, and that's why we got to physically go in, lovingly, using Wolfe Non-Surgical, and untie the knot, and then pull the fibers apart, lovingly pull the fibers, and allow the blood flow and the energy flow to come in to turn that scar tissue strings back into beautiful tissue. Or you can go in and get surgery, and what they'll do is eventually they're going to do what? Called a pelvic clearance, where they get rid of your ovaries and your uterus, okay? My boyfriend, Andrea, my boyfriend has a stomach problem since he was a baby. His intestines were knotted up, like most people. Yeah, then they don't even know it. And he had to get surgery. Since he can first remember, he has liquid bowel movements. Okay. Andrea, if you want to give me a call, I'll actually do, my phone number is 250-801-0133. If you have a iPhone, we'll do a FaceTime. If not, we can do Skype. My Skype is DOC period, OF period, DETOX. I'd like to see your boyfriend. Because if he's got liquid stool all the time, then he could shorten his lifespan by 10 or 15 years, because he's losing a lot of electrolytes and a lot of nutrition. We got to get that slowed down and stopped right away. He hardly has solid stool. We think it could be built up bowel movement. Well, it is, but the reality is when you've got those knots and it's slowing everything up, it's probably full. He's got worms too. Remember something: you'll never find something that's rotting without worms. Okay, bad bacteria, fungus, and worms. They all come to that parasite party. We can turn this around. We really can, Andrea. If you want to give me a call, we can talk about it. If your boyfriend wants to talk about it, if he doesn't, I'll talk to you about it. But he's still going to have to agree to it. So we wouldn't put him on daily cleansing tea, would we? But let's take a look at what his bad habits are. Very important, guys, that when you talk to us and come to us for consultations, I want to know all your bad habits, okay? I want to know what's in your cupboard and in your fridge. So I want a list of everything that's in your cupboard and fridge. So I want one page. That's very important, okay? So we want to know, is Heinz ketchup, okay? Do you have beer in there? Do you have organic vegetables in there? I want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? And the reason being is because we're on your side. And the reason is never feel guilty. Never feel we're trying to judge you. We're just trying to get your mind not to be a landmine, and try to make all these toxic decisions for you, okay? When it comes to the diarrhea, okay, we know that he should be looking at, this is our one a day, okay? It's called Sinonian minerals, but it's minerals, vitamins, and antioxidants. There's 147 different nutrients in this. So I would have him on that, Andrea. I would also have him on the black gold and the tummy love, okay? I need to take a look at his diet. I would also have him doing the silver bullet liquid to try to bring the infection down. I'd also want to find out, I would want to ask him a few questions and see if he is highly infected with worms, which I think he could be. I don't want to give him a lot of other things until we talk, okay? All right? diarrhea is harder to work with than constipation, because diarrhea is actually where the person was so constipated that their bowels blowing out. Okay, it's so infected. I bought a metal cleanse from the health food store because I used to have metal fillings. Do metal cleanses work? Well, I don't know what it is. I will tell you, the best heavy metal cleanse on the planet is using fulvic acid. The best cleanse for viral, bacterial is actually humic acid. And this is, I'll show you. And it really is. I'm not making this up. Go take a look at our fulvic humic guide in our library. All the science is there from, and these are all scientific studies and research, not just something we're saying. So that's fulvic acid. That's for heavy metal cleanse. And today with heavy metal cleanse, you want to put 1 teaspoon of this in every 16 ounces of water. And if you're really tight with money, make sure you at least do 1 tablespoon a day of that. And for viral, I mean, I didn't say this. The National Institute of Health, right? The people that we really don't want to trust too much. They actually had a study up that, and we actually have that in our guide that's in our library, saying that they actually said it, not us, that humic acid will encapsulate any virus. And if you're taking humic acid, no virus can even come into your body. How's that? So you can take that if you've got a problem or you have a weakened system. Tummy Love is what we use for building the good bacteria, but it also has a combination of fulvic and humic acid in here and some other things for restoring, excuse me, the good bacteria in your large intestine. Okay? Rachel, do you have any guidance on how to get off drugs that are supposed to help prevent seizures? I have lowered my dosage, but it's physically hard to stop. What do you recommend? Okay, first of all, what I recommend is building up your immune system, taking a look at your belief systems, take a look at what triggers a seizure. So this is the information you want. So I would not be the person who gets you off of your drugs. So understand that. I would be the guy that creates balance in your system, in your brain, and in your nervous system. So that would be what I would want to do. And understand something. The drug part would be about you and your doctor. And you will actually know personally whether or not you can come off the drugs, because you're just not going to, you're just going to feel so secure that you'll actually forget to take them. You'll just have clear energy, clear thought, and understand something. We wouldn't want to do anything to ever hurt you. So we would want you to work with your doctor on that. Okay? But I will tell you right now that start using our Mag Infusion. Take a look at our Mag Infusion. It's not expensive. And you just take 1 scoop under your tongue. Do that 3 times a day to start and let it heat up. It heats up under here. And wait till you see how it makes you feel. Okay? Get on our Sinonian minerals so that you make sure that you're getting all the minerals you need for your brain. Also, get on what's called Divine Vine. And how's your thyroid? Okay? Those are things I would start off with taking a look at. And are you drinking enough water? And do you take enough essential fatty acids? Our essential fatty acid that we use is right. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. I don't have it right here because I don't bring all the products up. I don't like to talk about products too heavily on any show. Anyways, it's called Ocean Essentials. And people will usually use fish oil, but just know this, whether you want to believe this or not. This is pharmaceutical grade seal oil, and seal oil has 400% better absorption on the body because we're mammals, they're mammals. And understand something. I've seen people with seizures and people with ADHD and ADD and people with autistic children, and we've used everything from hemp oil, flax oil, every oil you can think of, and fish oil. I don't go near that. That's just not digestible. And the only thing that we found that really works well is seal oil. So, I'm telling you right now that a lot of people go, what? Seal oil? Yeah, well, wait till you take it and you feel it. Then you'll understand what I'm saying. Dion, can you help me with my daughter? She is 5 years old, has severe cerebral palsy and epilepsy, tube fed, unsafe swallow, severe constipation. There's the biggest deal right there. Whenever you have a brain dysfunction, and it doesn't even have to be like a serious one, but when you've got a brain imbalance, we know that we've got a gut-brain disconnection. You got to get her bowels moving. Dion, if you give me a call, I swear that, call me, extension 5. I'm going to be able to help you. Let's see what you're doing already. Let's see what we can do in the way of diet. Let's see what we can do in the way of getting her bowels moved. If we can clean up her diet more, if we can get her bowels moving, wait to see the change in her. And that's it. How do you like it when you don't poop? Okay? And severe constipation, are we like kidding here? That should never be happening. That's actually damaging her brain. And understand something, gut-brain connection. Every time that you do antibiotics, you have a chance that you're going to damage your brain. Okay? Antibiotics are like a relative to chemo. Okay? So they go in there and they just go, they annihilate the good and the bad, and that's why things usually come back worse. That's why you should never do antibiotics unless you're in a life-threatening situation. And if you continue to do it, antibiotics, you're going to put yourself in a life-threatening situation. I took my glasses off because now that's given me a really good break, guys. This blue light, sometimes it's just more than I like. Allie, what do you think about dry fasting? I don't like it. I'm not a dry faster. I really believe that taking liquids in, and also I can prove that doing an advanced water fast is better than a water fast. We use ATP Plus, we use the ion calcium therapy, and we use fulvic acid, and we use Ormus minerals, which are more etheric than they are physical. And when we do those 4 things, and we do the ultimate coffee enema, there's nothing that can touch this. Our fast will release more stem cells. And understand, when you do water fasting, advanced water fasting, you will actually, your body will never eat up cancer more efficiently doing anything else in the world than an advanced water fast. Like I just said, and we have all the science to prove it. And actually, I'm going to be sending out an article that when you do a water fast, that if you don't do proper energy medicine nutritionals while you do a water fast, that you're causing small little fractures. Yes, you may reverse your condition that you have, but the problem is, excuse me, the problem is you'll reverse your condition, but you'll have small fractures. Because today, between the blue light, between the Wi-Fi, between the 5G coming, the 4G that's here, between all the cell phones, all the EMF, and all the toxins that we take in, okay, all right? When you go to fast, you're unleashing all of these toxins. And what happens? Well, when you unleash these toxins, they go into your bloodstream, right? So your bloodstream has to stay at a certain pH. If it drops too low, you die. So it's never going to let that happen. So it says, I'm going to give you osteopenia, osteoporosis, and you're going to have displaced calcium and hardening of the arteries, and you're going to have displaced calcium in your joints and your organs, because I would rather make your bones into Swiss cheese than for you to have a heart attack or cancer, or to actually have a stroke. Okay? So that's the truth. So I don't believe in just doing a water fast. And I don't like dry fasting either, because guess what? I got to tell you something. I also don't like doing anything that doesn't taste good. I also don't like doing anything that doesn't feel good. And that's why I don't wear a mask. Well, but then there's enough research to show that if you want to get bacteria to grow, if you want viruses to grow, and then you should wear a mask. Okay? And understand something. I always want to say this to everyone. these politicians, if they were actually if they were actually worried about your health, they would actually do some research and find out that if you actually ate a clean diet and got the cork out of your butt and detoxified your liver, which hasn't been cleaned in all the years that you've been alive, okay? So understand something. You haven't seen anything yet. They're not done yet. They'll be able to pull this even in 10 years from now. They'll be able to pull this one so easy because everybody's going to be so sick. With 5G, are you kidding me? Look it. If you're not eating a whole plant-based diet, if you don't have your bowels moving, if you're not drinking structured water, if you don't have a smile on your face, and if you don't learn to do the 4 pillars like I have in my library and really take a look at that and start embracing that, you're not going to make it anyway. I mean, these guys are poisoning everything, right? Welcome to this life-threatening, fun-filled game called Earth. And the reality is that's why I'm not going to get angry about it, but I'm going to outsmart them because I'm smarter than them, okay? See what happens when you want approval? See what happens when somebody threatens that you're not going to get a paycheck? You'll bloody well do anything, won't you? There it is. Okay. Let me see. Ryan. The ache in my back. Okay, so we're going to do about, what about 2 more, 3 more? Yeah. 2 more. He's the boss, see? Well, really, it's called I Want to Go Home. Ryan, the ache in my back when I use a ball to massage it, it shoots nerve pain through my body. It is right in my rib cage near my spine. Oh, and guess what, Ryan? If you give me 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, I will untie that knot, that calcium deposit, and in 5 to 10 minutes. How's that? That's all I can say. Go to the A to Z masterclass in my A to Z Wellness guide in my library and go watch the 2-hour video there. Okay. And then go watch the rib work. I mean, we show you and we talk about the rib work, and then you'll understand, okay? Let me see here. But you got to go see a Wolfe Non-Surgical therapist. And guess what? 10 minutes. Honestly, they'll take it apart in 10 minutes. And then you can start using DMSO on it, some muscle restore, and then you can start doing some clapping, because the longer you have something, it thinks it needs to come back. So that's the thing. The longer, the stronger the belief that you've been running, the more you're going to have to work to erase it and replace it. The longer you have the disease or the physical impairment in your body, the more you're going to have to work to try to get those tissues to tell you that you don't need it anymore. Whether you want to believe this or not, when your body has a disease, okay, all right, for just a few weeks, the longer it's there, the more it believes it needs to be there. Okay, so anybody that has a disease for more than 9 months, okay, your body actually believes that it needs to have that disease. Try to take somebody's cane away from them and tell them that you can reverse their hip problem or their knee problem. Go ahead, try to do that. Excuse me. Try to do that. Try to take their cane away from them. Their cane becomes their buddy. But I understand that. They believe it's helping them to keep them from falling down. So from 1 cane, you go to 2 canes. From 2 canes, you go to a walker. From a walker, you go to a wheelchair, you go into the nursing home. The reality is we can reverse all that. And let me tell you something. Oh, I just want somebody to come and challenge me on this. Oh, you're a fraud, Dr. Wolfe. I've been doing this for 40 years. Okay? And understand, are you offering a money-back guarantee? I'm doing it. So understand, why am I doing it? Oh, because we're so hard up for money? No, because we want the world to know that they've been ruled, schooled, and fooled, just as they're being that way right now. Jacqueline, Dr. Wolfe, I have lost my appetite and have lost tons of weight and feel sick all the time. I went vegan. Well, don't go vegan. Go whole plant-based diet. Vegan 4 years ago, and I'm not very good at it. Well, yeah, that's why. But I'll never eat meat again or any animal product. I've had many bowel operations. Well, okay, right off the bat, if you've had many bowel operations, just understand something. with every cesarean, with every bowel operation, with every stomach operation, anything that's done in the core area, which is the abdominal area, you're going to have 2 to 3 inch roots growing off. Surgeries cause more scar tissue than anything else on the planet. So surgeries cause surgeries because of the scar tissue. When you go in even to get rid of scar tissue because of surgeries, you're going to have more surgeries because of the scar tissue they created. So understand, if you've had bowel operations and you don't know how to do the daily cleansing tea, you don't know how to do the fasting, the perfect day diet, you don't know how to do proper liver cleansing. I don't know, how many operations have you had? And gallstones, well, gallstones are displaced calcium from your bones trying to put the fire out in your liver so that you don't have liver cirrhosis or a fatty liver. So go figure. And then those calcium stones and cholesterol, they're made out of cholesterol and calcium, they end up going in your gallbladder, right? But understand something. Whether it's a gallbladder stone or it's calcium stones in your breast or it's kidney stones, it's all because that area of the body's on fire. So why is your liver on fire? Please, any information would help. Well, I'll tell you right now, information, get a consultation. Honestly, please, get a consultation and then give me 6 weeks, Jacqueline, and tell me what you think, okay? 6 weeks to 3 months, we're going to turn this around, all right? If we don't, get your money back. Trish, how can we detox from vaccines? Okay, difficult. You can detox from vaccines by doing the advanced water fasting, also by doing the ultimate coffee enema, and by using energy medicine. That's right. That's how you do it. You got to use energy medicine, high vibration, things like the Avicen, the Bioptron, things like the vitamin D crystal energy light. Okay, that's the things that you would do. But the reality is try not to get them. And you know what I love? Well, I have this damage from the vaccination. Understand, a lot of vaccination damage you can reverse. Not the ones, not the ones that have taken children's lives, not the ones that have made children autistic. We can improve their lives. But understand something. You can reverse it. And understand, never go get a vaccination if you're sick. If you've got COVID and you go for a vaccination, well, you may not be coming home. You may not be coming home. You cannot have a vaccination if your immune system is down. You need to get that. Rule number 1, right there. Okay? Understand something too. What really helps with vaccinations is the fulvic and the humic. All right? So I really check that out. And the black gold. Again, will help you out if you want. How can I clean my liver? The best way to clean your liver is to do the ultimate coffee enema and to make sure your bowels are moving. That's the key right there. Richard, how do I cure hydrocele? I'm 55 years old. Definition: a type of swelling in the scrotum that occurs when fluid collects in the thin sheath surrounding a testicle. Understand something, buddy. We only retain water because we got to bring down the inflammation or we're going to have cancer in our scrotum or cancer in our testicles. Yeah, you better get that. Okay, so the water, believe it or not, is to try to dilute things down so that you don't totally go on fire. And remember something, if it gets too toxic there and you bring down the oxygen levels by 35% in cells for more than 3 days, you can actually turn it into a cancer cell. So what do? Well, first of all, let's get the bowels moving. We talked about that, the daily cleansing tea, Tummy Love Black Gold. Next thing is your liver's a big part of it. Try to wrap your head around doing the ultimate coffee enema. But what I would do if I was in this situation, I would be doing clapping. I'd be doing clapping on my groin because I guarantee that your lymph nodes are all jammed up. So I would do clapping and I would do chopping in my groin. Okay, and I actually talked about that in the clapping overview, and you'll find the rest of the clapping videos. If you go to my library and you click on clapping for health, clapping for life, go watch those videos. Ready for the next one? You're going to love this one. Okay, ready? All right. If you go to my perfect day guide, and I'm sorry I'm clearing my throat all the time, everybody, but yeah, I kind of ran myself down a little bit. And that's why I keep clearing it. even though I'm on a whole plant-based diet. Just think if I ate dairy and bread and sugar and all these things, right? Okay, now, are you ready? Grab onto this. You want to get yourself a prostate massager. It's about that big. And you can order it. You can go to my Perfect Day guide, and you'll take a look in there and you'll see it. It gives you a link in Canada and United States. Costs you $26. So here you go. He's going to go, oh my God, you're so crazy, Daryl. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you get our structured moringa oil, and you cover the prostate massager with structured moringa oil. I tell people to take a couple drops of our frankincense and then drop that on the top part of the prostate massager. Then you put the prostate massager into your rectum. Then you turn the prostate massager on. You have a remote control. You run that for anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes. What do you think would happen if you increase the circulation in your groin? Well, if we increase the circulation, the detoxification, and we bring in more nutrition. So after you do that for 1 to 5 minutes, then you can get what's called a CBD suppository. 250 milligrams is really good. And then you put that into your rectum. Now you've got all that blood flow gorged into the pelvis area. Okay, so lots of blood flow in there, lots of heat, the right heat, not inflammation, just lots of circulation. So then that's going to melt in about 10 to 15 minutes. So then what you do is you don't have to do this. So just understand. Then you can take the massager, put it back in for another 1 to 3 to 5 minutes, and run it. Why? Because we're going to take all that CBD that brings down what? What does it bring down? Inflammation. Oh, really? Okay, so what else does it do? Well, let's put it this way. Anybody with any type of pelvic problem. Oh, but understand something too. That when you do that, okay, when you do that, where was I going? When you do that, it doesn't just go there. You know, there was a major study done where they actually took 250 milligrams of CBD and they did rectal suppositories. And they saw that they could heal from your toe to from the tip of your toe to your nose, okay? Conditions, and very severe life-threatening conditions. I don't want to even say what they are. You can guess, okay? Now, I'm going to give you another little tip, everybody, while we're on this little thing, and then I'm going to let it go. I'm going to do one more question, and then I'll let it go. The rest I'll do next Monday. All right, you ready for this? So what you do is you take the belly button therapy. Go take a look at my video in my DIY guide in my library, and it tells you how to do this. And you also get a brochure with this, and you get a little buddy here. But you go in and you do the belly button therapy, and understand something. There's an actual gland that sits behind the belly button, but you also have the vagus nerve, which is called the wandering nerve. When you do the belly button therapy, you trigger the vagus nerve. That actually releases 70% of your serotonin, 50% of your dopamine. That gives you a 25% more stretch, but it opens everything up in the body and it puts you into a parasympathetic state. Now, we ready for this? If you take 2 drops of our frankincense oil and put it in your belly button, and then guess what? Depending on how big your belly button is, if it's a child, 1 drop. If it's an adult, maybe up to 4 drops, depending on how the belly button is. Then put 1 to 4 drops of the CBD oil in your belly button, right? And then you can just go back. You can let it just soak in, let it soak in on its own, or you can go in and just use your belly button therapy again for a couple of minutes just to stimulate, see how you feel. Now, you may not believe this, but we've got people that are in such severe pain. I don't know if you know this, but I've been in the health business for over 40 years. And we've had, on a natural basis, okay, we're like one of the top 10 of all natural clinics that help to support the body with people with things like cancer, things like autoimmune diseases, where they are in so much pain and suffering. Now, there's something new for you. So I'll keep on telling you things that we do and things that you can do, and then you can decide if you want to or not. But whether you're a man or a woman, doing a prostate massage and using a vibrator, it's a good thing. It's a really great thing. Okay? If you've got questions, you can call me. My extension is number 5. But understand something. The degree of which you heal will be the degree on which energy you put into this. If you take massive personal action and love yourself well, then you're not going to be sick. You're not. You're not. Superman ain't coming. You know what? The day that you decide that I'm going to become my own practitioner, I am going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to focus on my own health and happiness, and I'm going to become the Braveheart leader for my family and show them that, guess what? It can be done. You know, the one thing that we always do is we always want to be helpful for our family and our friends, and we're always telling them what will make them better. The problem why people don't listen to us anymore when we do that is because we're kind of hypocrites, right? Telling people always what they should do for their health. But understand, mothers aren't hypocrites, fathers aren't hypocrites. They just keep telling people what to do and the things don't work because you've been given a dysfunctional manual. How in the heck do you think we could take like 95% of the population and make them sick? Right now, whether you believe this or not, 86% of the population has an autoimmune disease. Think about that. There's only 14% of the population doesn't have an autoimmune disease. 80% of the population is overweight. 40% of the population is obese. 1 out of 4 children are obese. So here's the deal. People aren't dying from COVID, okay? Yeah, they've been dying from colds and flus, since the beginning of time, when they've had like 1 or even 3 or 4 autoimmune diseases. It was just the straw that broke the camel's back. The body doesn't have enough energy to get well. So you need to get this. Nobody really cares. Food corporations make toxic foods. Politicians know nothing about health. The medical system doesn't believe in detoxification, and anything you eat doesn't matter, and anything you think doesn't matter. So what the hell matters? Nothing matters, I guess. Nothing matters anymore. I'll tell you something. Your questions matter, and you matter, and you'll always matter to me. We may not match up with our beliefs, or our type of faith, or there's 1,300 to 1,500 different religions. And understand something. You better get this. You better leave that to the side, because we all came from the same creator. Just somebody else wrote the book. Somebody else made up the story. And understand something. I get it. Everybody's religion is the right one, and everybody's religion is going to take them to heaven. Well, I'll tell you something right now. You can create heaven right now for yourself. Just learn to love yourself well and learn to stop judging. And just really focus and mind your own happiness. Mind your own health. Have a beautiful day. And I know you can do this. Put a slight smile on your face. Get yourself a love band, life band. There's a kiss. There's a hug. All right? Do the mirror work. Go check out my Braveheart 12 Loving Steps and see how much you could actually love yourself. You know what? We actually run programs that stop us from loving ourselves. Well, understand something. You're beautiful. I've failed 1,000,000 times. I'm going to fail another 1,000,000. And I'll understand something. When I was younger, my father, he was a pastor and a carpenter. And I was raised in a born-again Christian family. Okay? And understand something. I am not a sinner, but I was raised as one. And understand something. Sinner means missing the mark. Why don't you look it up in the dictionary? And I'm going to miss the mark 100 times tomorrow. But I'm definitely not going to put myself into judgment jail. And I'm definitely not going to think I'm going to go to hell for it. Because putting yourself in judgment jail is putting yourself in hell. And you don't deserve to be there. You are a beautiful spirit. See if you can embrace that. Have a beautiful day. Take care. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.